us. Hey, this is EMW TV. Just doing a mic check. EMW TV with Don Piper, the Don Piper.
The actual Don Piper.
Yeah. AKA Don Piper.
Original. AKA Don Piper, AKA Trilly Vanilli, AKA Wesley Pipes, AKA Pipe Tyson, AKA the Duke of Trillminster up in your ear right now. What's happening in Wales and all over the globe?
Oh my God, that was such an intro. Boom. Big up and respect, Don. Yes.
Nice. Thanks for having me, man. Nice to be here.
Nah, it's always a pleasure. Obviously, we've done something briefly before doing that beat clinic stuff, which was sick. I really enjoyed that. And like little, well, obviously I know, but like, you know, you're quite prolific in terms of producing, man. So you're like, not only did you have time to come on to do a beat clinic with us, but you've been working on so many projects, like, so really appreciate your time today as well. Just to jump
nothing,
on.
man.
Yeah,
come on to you guys anytime. You know that?
Yeah, man, it's big.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, so just before we got on, we were talking about your day. You just said that you went up skating, and actually you're in Wales at the moment, right? So
I'm back home in the homeland. Yeah, back here at the moment, and I went to skate Pen Coed up in Bridgend. Shout out to everyone in Bridgend, skaters and hip hop heads. Went there and had a skate with my old mate, Al. And I had a good day, man. We skated there, then skated another one in Skewin, in Swansea, another skate park. So I'm knackered out, but I'm good. I feel like I've had a good day. I landed a few tricks.
Nice.
Always helps. Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in the sticks, so like didn't really get into skateboarding, but I can imagine it feels pretty good if you land back on it. I've never managed to land back on it. Just to let everybody know, if you're watching or if you're in, you can ask questions anytime as well. If you got anything you'd like to know, and we actually had one already, man, which we should get into. From Reese, he's asking how to pronounce the label that that you released, Don Piper, and he's got is it Forency, Funky Yen?
Foreign currency.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So hence why the yen symbol is a Y. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But obviously Pav from Foreign Beggar started it, so foreign currency was an extension, I guess, of the foreign thing. But it's been sick. Love working with them. It's like such a well-oiled machine, the label. Everyone's so sound on there. Like all the stuff, everyone's just been really, really helpful and cool. And like, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's early phases, but it's going to go big.
What I love about that is that he's representing globally. Like that's his kind of. I mean, they're representing, like, you know, on their like business, their statement. They're saying like this is about. Well, obviously in the name there's something in there as well, but it's about reaching out all across the world and like you know, representing so many different parts of the world in one label is a sick idea, and I'm really looking forward to hearing what comes out of it. And to represent Wales so early on, man, that's a power move in my eyes, obviously for personal reasons.
You know, Cymru and beef.
Yeah,
you know, all day.
Sick.
It's nice. It's a nice. I think it's a nice addition to a lot of the artists in India and London and all over the world, Mexico, France, like all over Australia. It's nice to have like the small little Welsh contingent to add into the.
Yeah, man.
Always the little guys in the mix, but hopefully do some big things.
Yeah, but these beats are like they're not little at all. Like in the Don Piper EP. Based on the best-selling book by Don Piper, directed and filmed by Don Piper.
I even did the artwork.
You did the artwork. Man, did you make the cap?
That's Denver with the good head did the artwork.
That's sick.
What it was basically was that like I think like the photo shoots, they like send us some photos or whatever. And there's just one of my face, and I was like, I can't have my face on the front cover of it. I was like, that's sacrilege. Like, but like they were like, look, Denver was like, trust me, send me the photo of your face. And I sent the photo of my face, and I was thinking, oh, what's gonna happen now? Like, do you mean no? I was thinking no one can make a face. A producer of all things, like no one can have the face on the cover of an album. It's the most egotistical thing you can possibly do. And he just came back with that artwork, just saying like written and produced. So like hopefully everyone gets the joke that it's like so self-absorbed and so disgusting. And the track called Don Piper was actually called it was called self-titled And then I was like, right, I'm changing the name of it to Don Piper.
Makes sense.
Just to add the like, do you know what I mean? And then I had some samples of a guy called Don Piper, TV, a guy who died and went to heaven basically, and came back.
90 not was it 90 minutes in a body bag or something?
Yeah.
I was going to ask about your experience, like, you know, what was it like, but you just bought it. It wasn't.
Well, I've had a few experiences in my time, but I can't shed any light on that.
Yeah, that's sick. So you found a sample of, and did you know about this person before? Is that kind of related to the name?
Well,
or
I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I did Google myself a few years ago. I Googled myself just to see if anyone's looking, or if I exist on the online thing, and I just saw, all I saw was this guy Don Piper, and I was like, bastard, because he's well famous in America. But yeah, so I knew about him, and this was a time where I was like, when I changed the track name to Don Piper after getting the artwork, I was like, right, I'm gonna have to factor that in. I'll make it the intro track, so it's got like a kind of heavy intro and hard hitting intro. It was kind of perfect, really, because it's what he talks about is pretty deep and pretty heavy, and obviously I believe that you don't just go straight to heaven. It's like you have to go through punishment first. And so, do you know what I mean? Get in a body bag, all this stuff, and yeah, so it's kind of a dark track. Yeah, in my head when I hear the track, I kind of feel like you can hear the different gods. You know, I'm not religious in one particular way, but I believe potentially there's all these different truths. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of like you can hear the Asian influence in it. And I kind of felt like, oh, you can maybe see different gods coming through, passing by to check you in. You know,
what's that sample at the end? It kind of like it flips a little. I think it's on that, or I think it's on that way. It kind of, you got this. It sounds almost Turkish or like Middle Eastern. What is that?
That is a bouzouki. I think it's a bouzouki. Yeah. And that is a Turkish instrument.
Yeah. I thought so.
Yeah.
It sounds sick. Like it's just like you got quite this like, you know, obviously it's an elephant beat, but then at the end it kind of flips, and it's
soft,
really,
like,
yeah, it's a good one, that.
Nice one, bro.
Yeah, and it's funny that, because like one of the things that I looked into was you know, different cultures, like how they approach death and how they talk about it in their religion or in their culture, in their spirituality. And obviously, you know, like across the world, people do it differently, right? And one of the things is the Hopi Indians tale. There's a story about a son who goes to his dad just before going to sleep. He asks his dad, like, what's it like to die? And his dad says, go to sleep, son. And he goes to sleep, and then he like has this mad dream where he like, and this, I'm completely butchering this story, and I'm sorry to any Hopi Indians.
That's how I do it, Roy.
Yeah, but yeah, basically like he walks for miles, and he gets to this point, and then he's on the edge of a cliff, and he's just about to jump, and then the sun like appears, and it says like, do you really want to die? You know, is this what you want? And like he's right there, and then it gets brighter and brighter, and then he just wakes up and he's back in his room. Like, it's mad. It's and I don't even know if that's true. Like, I might have just made that up, but if not, like, look into it. Hopi Indians, man, it's sick.
Yeah. I'm gonna look that up for sure, because it's well. I think it's well documented that people, you know, when you die, you leave your body, you go to the light. Do you know what I mean? And
be interesting to experience it, but also come back and then talk about it. But I'm not going to risk it.
I'm like, I've had some crazy experiences in my life. I mean, I can't really talk about it on this show. I don't think. I've had similar experiences of like leaving and coming back, similar to that, I guess.
You know, like I think that's the thing. Like, a lot of it's to do with healing as well. And I know we're going a bit off topic, but you know, like the way that shamans use like hallucinogenics to heal, and like to focus in on energies, and like sort of like approach oneself from a different angle, and kind of ask questions that are very difficult to answer or ask in the first place. And those kind of hallucinogenics actually help
cleanse, man.
Yeah, but obviously it's meant to be done under supervision in a wood somewhere in like Central America or something.
Peruvian, the Amazon.
Not in Patal,
actually don't do it in Patal, but not by the steelworks there.
It will spin you out.
You might actually just be in like a tunnel. You're not going through a tunnel to the light, you're just in a blast furnace. Don't go to the light in that situation. But yeah, I've got a friend who goes back and forth to the Amazon doing ayahuasca retreats and things like that. And what I hear back is just like very much, yeah, cleansing and refreshing and terrifying and every emotion and everything on the spectrum. So I find that whole thing fascinating. And yeah, it's quite interesting because I think after this, doing this Don Piper EP race, it's so egotistical and so like blatantly that I feel like I've kind of put that egotistical side of me to bed for a minute now, and I can just focus on just doing, do you know what I mean, like enough of the jokey stuff for a bit and just get more serious and heartfelt with the music and stuff.
I think there's an element of that in this EP though. It's like, yeah, okay, it's a little jokey, but also like it's kind of saying something about, you know, like there is an inner demon as well for producers and artists in general about, you know, how you present yourself. And so just to completely go like, it's me, like, and it's, you know, like, and just like, yeah, make a joke about it, but also really just like you say, it allows you then just to move on and go, right, like it doesn't, you know, the next one's gonna.
Yeah, exactly. It's all, I guess it's like sets you up. If you go to these extremes, it sets you up well for reinventing yourself, which I've always thought was a bit corny, but I guess it's what you got to do. So it's kind of putting it so in that place gives it a nice, plenty of opportunity to take it to the extremes of other places. Do you know what I mean? Like heartfelt or there's so many different vibrations and energies you can bring. So it's set me up well for the next thing. Or things, got many things coming. So
that's true, because like not only have you just released this Don Piper EP, but you're working on other things as well. I mean, like you also produce for other artists. You also do drum and bass as well.
Jungle, drum and bass,
yeah,
footwork, everything, house, stuff for sync companies, adverts and stuff like that. So yeah, it's very cool. Do you know what I mean? I'm in a great position where I can work sort of solo, or I can work with the MCs. I just finished an album with an MC who, I think most of you probably know who it is, but I can't say who it is right now. So either, that'll be coming this year. I've got releases on Subwork coming, like the new label Subwork. Shout out to Tens and everyone at Subwork, which is more like jungle and footworky and arty type stuff. Some stuff on Foreign Currency, some stuff on Saturate Records, which I'm really excited about, out in Berlin. Shout out to Saturate. Been a massive fan of that sort of style of like beats and just bass music for ages, and like finally be releasing stuff on that label is just super exciting. So that'll be coming very soon, actually. I think very soon. I don't have the exact dates, but I'm not going to give out dates. I mean, I know better at this point.
You're not allowed, right?
But it's coming soon, so it's all go, man. It's all go.
It's big up, and it's EMW TV with Don Piper. And if you are watching out there, feel free to ask any questions. Otherwise, I'll have to keep scraping them up. But I mean, like, I just want to learn more about how you started this Don Piper EP. Was it a body of work from the beginning, or are they things you pieced together? Like, how did it come about? And, you know, at what point did you get approached by Foreign Currency to release?
It was like it's a good question, actually. It's like this EP, only when I listened to it back after I'd finished it, I was like, this is my best body of work yet. Like, and it kind of was. It's a really, I guess you get in the flow state. And when I made this, it was kind of like in that state where like there was no plan, there was no goal. It was just me and I just selected the best tracks that I had at this point. And one or two that were going to be used for a different project that didn't get used. And I knew they had weight and they all fitted together nicely. Like they've all got a certain tone and a certain vibe to them. Basically I released my first solo album Caviar with Foreign Currency already, so already in there with sort of Pav and everything like that, and it just made sense to sort of approach them and be like, look, I've got this EP of tracks, and Pav heard it, was like, yeah, let's go. And then when I got the artwork back, I was like, oh, this is a thing now. I was like, this is a real, it's a real nice piece of art, this whole project. Like, so really, I guess, to just give it to you straight, I mean, really, it was just some of my beats, which the beats I had, which were my favorite at this time. I just went, right, I need to put something out. I could give you this big pretentious story of like, well, we set it, but it was just a load of beats that worked really well together, and it just turned into this amazing piece of art. And like, I think that's what's amazing about having great visual artists and like a great team working with you, because it's like, without that, this would just be like 6 tracks. There'd be no Don Piper thing. There'd be no like sort of, yeah, I just kind of I'm good at making beats, but I'm not that good at the art side of things and making things glue together like that. So yeah, I'm so blessed to be on this team, man. It's sick.
And obviously they got quite a lot of weight anyway because of the previous works. And also, yeah, I must shout out Caviar as well. Also, is well worth a listen.
We'll check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I just printed the Don Piper EP into our comment section. It's on Bandcamp. Obviously, it's on all the other places as well, Spotify and that.
Yeah, we get more money from Bandcamp, so go cop it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, buy it and play it, and yeah, and play it again.
Tell your mum and tell your mum's mum and tell your friends and tell a friend.
Take your dog for a walk and tell strangers.
Yeah. Take that puppy out and yeah.
You say, nice puppy. What's it called? Don Piper.
Don Piper.
Go and listen to the EP.
Yeah. I think I have my first pet name when I get my dog. I think it's going to be Dog Piper or Don Piper.
Well, when I asked you what your spirit animal was, I was expecting snake because Don Viper, you know, but you know.
Yeah, people get it confused with that. Funny enough, snakes and sharks are my favorite animals, but dogs are like, I love dogs. Like, who doesn't love dogs? Who don't like dogs? You're a psychopath. I probably offended about 50% of the audience just now.
Yeah. But have you? Yeah, I mean,
I'll fight you.
Dogs have a healing power as well. Going back to that whole shaman thing, like they give you a little bit of fun,
energy, man.
Whose idea was it to do all these quotes?
Yeah. So shout out to oh my word, Kieran. We've had like some new members of staff at Foreign Currency, and I feel like an awful person right now for forgetting the name, but yeah, forgive me, Kieran. Because Kieran goes by other names, and I'm now thinking, is this the wrong name? Anyway, someone called Kieran, basically. Potentially called Kieran, potentially called Jerome, potentially basically just said, look, we're sort of doing a marketing campaign, I guess, and she's just amazing. And just sent me back the bio thing and just sent me back some quotes at the bottom with the Oprah Winfrey and all this shit. And I was like, this is the perfect, like everyone on the team has just like smashed it to bits, if you know what I mean. It's like without the whole team, it's just not what it is. Like, so, and I've had people inboxing me saying, we love this marketing campaign. Like they're like, and it's a good sign because I don't have a clue what I'm doing. So
yeah, it is good. It stands out from the rest as well because, you know, obviously there's a lot of noise.
So in your face as well, you know, it's just like,
yeah, I just want to read off a couple of Don Piper drinks a mug of nails instead of coffee. Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that's my boy Danny. Shout Danny DeVito.
Oh yeah, big up Danny. He's also known for hanging about in Le Pub in Newport as a door check man. So like, yeah, if you're ever in Le Pub in Newport, they've just put Danny DeVito in, and he's a
yeah. You know that shit's Newport.
Yes, Danny DeVito, Newport legend.
Danny, Newport legend.
Yeah,
love it.
I was also letting you know that beforehand I was looking up questions that Oprah Winfrey would ask on a Q&A, you know, like, and treat this a little bit more like a proper Oprah Winfrey interview exclusive. But I just went down a rabbit hole of like, you know, those like business enterprise, how to be successful bollocks.
Yeah.
I switched
Tony
off.
Robinson shit.
Yeah, but what does your inner voice say, Don Piper?
Wow. My inner voice says, receive and give love. That's all. Receive and give love as much as you can. Receive as much as you can. Give as much as you can through whatever means possible, basically. So music's my number one outlet for that. So that's how I do it most.
That's beautiful. And like, music in general has been a part of your life. Obviously, in your bio, you say like you got the banjo, and then you had an addiction to the guitar. You were in punk bands growing up. So did you grow up in Swansea? Yeah, just to clarify, you grew up around South West Wales, or what was that something that came into your life later on? Or
no, I was born in Swansea. Yeah, shout out to all the Swansea boys in the house and girls, Swansea man them. But yeah, basically I was born here in Swansea. Yeah, in a little place called Sandy Lane, and then moved to West Cross when I was like 9, and then two very different places. Sandy Lane's like a little sort of hippie, sort of off, like kind of off the grid kind of place, and then West Cross is like a bit more of an estate type thing for most of it. And then from there, I moved to, I lived in other flats in Swansea in the city centre, and then when I was like 18, I moved to Australia for 2 years, came back, and then stayed here for about 3 years. I moved to Bristol for 5 years. So, but by and large, when I was blowing up the music, it was in Bristol. So a lot of people think I'm from Bristol or know me as a Bristol producer, but I'm actually a Welsh boy. So yeah,
check the accent.
I will be for all my sins. Yeah, I is, was, and will be.
So punk bands in like and around Swansea, like did you?
Round up to independence. Shout.
Yeah, are you into that?
Yeah, I love punk music, man. I'm a skater, so like I just love fast punk music, like Minor Threat and shit like that. So yeah, but like I basically grew up listening to punk because an older brother, shout out to Rory if you're listening. Yeah, basically from the age of like 6 or 7, he was feeding me like Cyprus Hill and like Nirvana and like NOFX and Green Day before they went pop or whatever. And yeah, just like really sick punk, Rancid, Pennywise.
Nice.
Yeah, and like then I got into like Eminem before we blew up. Funny enough, mate had we used to record cassettes of like the Tim Westwood show. That's all we had back then, isn't it? And like
Baby Dog.
Yeah, UK understand what's about to go down. Basically, I remember one day he came into the car with like a cassette, and it was Slim Shady, and I think it got released in America like 3 years, 2-3 years at least before it came out in UK, and that was really weird because I heard what's that? Hi, my name is like, and I didn't even know he was white. Like, it's obviously a cassette tape. Like, yeah. I was just like, this guy's sick. And then it was like years later that I found out that it was just this white dude, like, and like Dre produced it and all this stuff. And but then by that point I was like playing in punk bands, stuff like that, like just trying my hand at that. And then I got sick of playing in punk bands because like I think I had too many ideas. And I think it used to piss people off because it's just like, no, do as you're told, which is what you should do really. And I just eventually started producing music. I went to college at Llyn y Bryn, which is just down the road from me now, actually, where I live, funny enough, when I was like 16, 17. Learned how to like produce, and like I was just obsessed, man. Like I'd be in there from like, I've never been on time for anything in my life bar like music, and like music would make me go in at 8 a.m. and I didn't have lectures till like 12 just to use the equipment, and then I'd finish my lecture at like 3 and I'd stay there till like 8 in the night, and that was just how I did it every day for the whole of college. Yeah, so that set me off. And then shout out to Rowan, who had an MPC, who showed me how to make beats on an MPC and use like Cubase and Reason. That really was the catalyst for me, because after that, then it was just like, that was all I wanted to do. And having like played guitar since I was like 7, which funny enough started by like, I just was listening to Nirvana and stuff, then going up to my granddad's house. He's died when I was 2, but I knew he was into music and stuff, and my mom was like, oh, there's a banjo upstairs in the attic, do you want to pull it out or whatever? So I went and got the banjo out, and I just started playing Nirvana riffs and stuff on it, like no bar chords, but just playing the sort of bass notes on it and stuff, and making little riffs and stuff. And I basically didn't realize that that's not everyone can do that. I thought that everyone could just do that. And in later years I realized not everyone can just pick up an instrument and start playing what they can hear back from the song, if you know what I mean, like that. So I realized later years I got a little bit of a gift of that sort of thing, like a little bit of a pitch, bit of a blessing with the pitch stuff. So so that basically went on to me playing guitar bands, learning how to produce, and just moving to Bristol then with Beast and Howard. Shout out to Beast and Howard, and just going ham in Bristol and working with. We had London Zoo come down from London to play for Beast's birthday in Swansea, and that's how I met all London Zoo boys. I'd only really produced tracks for like a year or two, like it's like, I guess professional you could call it, whatever. I wouldn't even call myself that at the time. But then I had London Zoo, like Dabs and Cobes, and some guy in my room with me listening to my beats, and like I was like, whoa, these people actually like it, like and then it turned into Lima Delta Zebra, and then just kind of blew up from there.
This is it.
If you haven't checked that, go check out Lima Delta Zebra by London Zoo, people. It's my first ever big beat.
Do that. Lima Delta Zebra, depending on what side of the pond you are. No, that's a really good point though, because like, how does a lad like or a lady or like you know like from Wales, from like a small town, get like you get those beats onto other producers' records
It's a really
outside of
good
Wales?
question.
You
It's
know
a
like that.
really good question.
It's a question that's been asked recently. So obviously like there's like there is like a bit of a glass box if you're like a producer in Wales and you get, you know,
Yeah.
you're funding through Wales, or you know you're part of a crew in Wales and you're kind of stuck in Wales, and to
Yeah.
break out of that's difficult. Yet you've somehow managed to do that to a point where some people are going like, "Oh, is Don Piper from Wales?" And like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the thing, isn't
yeah,
it?
like,
I
and
think people go on.
I mean, I'm just saying like, because obviously there's a lot about where you're from, which is important, but there seems to be like, yeah, that barrier, and I was just wondering if you got any insight into that, into like breaking down
Really good question.
that barrier.
Really good question. Like basically, but if just like start off, like if anyone from Wales or produces hip hop or any beats and you want to get them heard, by all means, like hit me up Facebook. Just like by all means, send them my way, because I know it is very hard to be from here and break out of here. Um, I know Normodity's done it. Shout out to Norm. There's other producers from South Wales who are sick, and I've heard them, and they're unbelievable. But like, I feel like when I've come across them, I'm like, how are you living down here? And even I'm like spun out by it, because I'm like, what? There's no scene here. There's no like really big. Do you know what I mean? The acts that have come from here that have gone that big. I mean, Headcase Lads and you know Mudmouth and people like that. There's a lot, you know, Asteroid Boys and things, but it doesn't feel like we've got a
And
scene.
Stagger, man, not to forget Stagger, rest in peace as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. I mean, there are quite a few done, you know,
Yeah,
great things, but um just like personally seeing it, like I think that I was just lucky, and I think that you've got to, once you get that opportunity. I happen to be like basically homeless. I was like couch surfing, and I got enough money together to get a laptop, and got a laptop, and basically my mate helped me install the software. And then I had a friend come to me and say, "Oh, I've got a mate who's got a roof. Sorry, he's got a flat, and he said the rent's like £150 a month." And from that point, I was like, I don't need to hear anything else. I just need a roof over my head, and that's cheap. And then he was telling me, yeah, this guy's into hip hop and this and that, and like all this stuff. And I was just like, by that point, I was like, I don't care if this dude's into fucking Jimmy. I don't even care if he's into like Satan metal, whatever. I don't know whatever the worst thing. I don't know. And basically, I just moved in, and it happened to be with Beast, who run, I think, Zebra at the time. Shout out to Beast, big shout out to my big brother. And I was showing him my beats, showing the people who I just moved in with my beats, and like they liked it, and I kind of was spun out. And the more people that they'd have their friends around and show it to their friends, and they'd be like, "Whoa, it's sick," and I'd just be like, "Well, it's not just me who likes this sort of thing." And he was good friends with all the people. I just had that one lucky break where he was friends with everyone in the UK hip hop scene. He'd been doing big things, run a clothing label that had sponsored Boom Bap Festival, and like, yeah, so I just had access to all that. He'd be like, "Look, I'll send these beats to like so and so." Like, do you know what I mean? He'd give me opportunities and things like that. So I'm forever in debt to Beast for that. It's like without him, there'd be no Don Piper. I think I'd have gone down some other route of drum and bass, or like I'm not sure if I'd have done the things I've done in the UK hip hop scene. So really, like what I would say is, when you do get your break, just what I did was just graft. I just did 14 hours a day. Like I wasn't even working and shit. Like I was just like, yeah, making beats, being a bit naughty and things. But yeah, basically just don't, once you get your opportunity, just don't let it go. Just work your ass off, and like don't question yourself. Do you know what I mean? Just like keep going at it. And it takes a long time. It's now 10 years since yeah, nearly 10 years since I've started doing that properly, you know. And there's been times I've been so skint I couldn't eat. Do you know what I mean? There's been times I just couldn't do anything. It's just like completely like, yeah, there've been times where you find it hard to believe, but once you're on that path, just don't look back, because you come so far. Like for me, it's like I've done it all my life. Just don't look back. Just keep going. And in the last few years, it started paying off monetarily, you know. So it's like it's a blessing, man.
perseverance.
Yeah, perseverance, man. It just don't. It's such a cliche, but just do not give up. Just keep going. And like, if I can give anyone opportunities, if anyone wants to send me beats, like I'm more than happy to do that. So anyone listening, you know, maybe I'll set up a new email account for people to send me beats to, or something like that, or whatever.
Yeah.
Just to save, you know, clutter, and not everyone's on Facebook or whatever.
Exactly.
So I don't
You
know.
got Don Piper on Twitter is Don_Piper 13, and Don
Yeah,
Piper on Instagram is Don Piper Beats.
yeah,
Yeah, so like if you do produce
yeah.
and you're listening in, or you're listening
You
back
come
later,
follow me.
yeah,
Come follow me, and like if you've got any stuff to send me, just send me links on Instagram or whatever, Facebook, or yeah, or I'll set up a new email. Maybe we'll drop a new email below for like people, because I want to give as many people opportunities as I can. And like if it's up to standard, man, I've got no qualms passing it on to any labels or anyone. And Foreign Currency are looking to try and find new artists as well. So if as long as the music's good, I'm more than happy to help.
you heard it here first. Yeah, no, I mean it's funny because there is some sick producers in Wales doing their bit, and like sometimes I'm just like I'm listening to a track that's hitting like whatever 50,000 listens on YouTube or views on YouTube, and then I'm listening to an equivalent track from down here, and it's got like 500 maybe,
Yeah,
like and I'm just like, why isn't this
I
hitting 50?
know.
What is it like? What
Yeah.
just because like I don't get it. Maybe it's because of the marketing drive behind it. Maybe it's the people who are involved in it in behind the scenes who are like making it move. Maybe it's not about the producer. Maybe it's about the people behind the producer. I don't know.
It can be that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the amount of times I've had messages on SoundCloud. By the way, follow me on SoundCloud as well if you don't already. So I'll release stuff on there for fun in between big releases as well. So if you do like my music, check that. But on SoundCloud, I used to have people messaging me all the time, just going like, "How do you have 800 followers?" Do you know what I mean? I get that quite a lot, and like I didn't have an answer, and I was like, "Yeah, why do I like?" I could hear my music, and I was like, "I know this is good. I've had enough feedback from thousands of people." And it's been it's hard, man. It's not easy. Like I guess nothing worth having is easy, but it just gets to a point where it sort of takes off. And like even I've had releases when Foreign Currency first started, like I think it was the second or third artist I've released on there maybe, and on YouTube you can look at some of the videos and I think they've only got a couple of hundred views. Do you know what I mean? And that's because it's a new label, it's not got the buzz yet, but like I still count it as a blessing to be on there. You know what I mean? It's like Power's got a vision and it'll get there, but yeah, a good thing to do as well is get as many get the email addresses and like build a little mailing list. That's a good bit of advice. I only found out about mailing lists like 2 years ago, where you just build up a little a list of people to send your tracks to, like radio, like Adam Walton, BBC Wales. Shout out to Adam Walton.
Yes.
BBC Radio Wales. He likes hearing new music, and he'll play all sorts of stuff, man. So people like that, just find radio shows, and like not necessarily your BBCs and things like that, but just radio shows from around the world that want to play new stuff, and just send it all out, because they will, a lot of the time they will listen to it. You know what I mean? And like if you I've had it recently where like I've had my beats played in like New York, Brooklyn and stuff like that, and like India, or like all over the place, because of these mailing lists and things like that the Foreign Currency have got and I've got between me and them. We sort of build it together and then send it all out. And these lists are like there's hundreds of people on this list. You know what I mean? It's like, well, maybe not hundreds, but there's a lot of people on there. So yeah, build yourself a mailing list and keep all of them in one document, in a Word document. Like so and so from this radio show, here's his email address. So and so from this TV, whatever. Or like this DJ, it's a good thing to have DJs playing your music. That's one thing. If Ivy Lab played my tracks before because they got hold of them, and like that just blew, like that helped blow things up massively.
Not only did they play them, they also shouted you out, didn't they? Like they gave you a massive big up, which probably.
I think so. I think Tim Parker might have from NTS Radio. I think maybe can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah. I remember one funny thing is I was meant to go see, they were like one of my favorite acts, and I was meant to go see them in Bristol about 2 years ago because just wanted to see them, and I ended up not going because the girl I was seeing at the time, she got sick, and like I just stayed with her, and we didn't go up. And I bumped into Revert. Shout out to Revert, amazing DJ, turntablist, and basically I bumped into him in Bristol about a month later, and he's like, dude, I was supporting Ivy Lab the other week, and he said that he heard a track come on and he looked over, I think it was Saber's shoulder, is it Sabre Still Part? I can't remember. But he looks over Sabre's shoulder and he said, yeah, who's this by? And he turns around and he says, Don Piper. So my mate heard my track played live by Ivy Lab, and like, it was this massive set that I was meant to be at watching, and I didn't get to go. Yeah. But it was just like, it's a funny way of how things work, isn't it?
Was it a kicker, or was it a bit of a like, yeah, that's a nice feeling, like, and you carry on?
Well, I've apparently they were playing it in their tracks in Fabric and all around the globe for like 2 years, and then I saw it with my own eyes because I saw they did a mix for like DJ Magazine or something like that, and I was watching their set, and then my song came on, and I was just like, whoa. And like for me, it was like, yeah, that would have been great to see it live, but I think hearing that story back for me was even better, if you know what I mean. The fact that my mate was just like supporting, he was probably, I mean, anyone would be amped to support Ivy Lab, and then he must have been amped to hear his mate's track in their set as well, you know.
True.
But like, I think that, yeah, just the fact that, for me, it's like the fact that people of that caliber and that top tier or whatever, if they are feeling your tracks, that to me is just the best feedback you can have. Like, I sent some tracks to Colombo recently, Dave Jenkins, shout out to Colombo, UKF, and yeah, many other outlets. But basically, I sent him my Caviar album, and he was like, "This is sick, I'm backing it." And just that, you know, people in that sort of that caliber, yeah, just backing your stuff is just the best. You know you're on a right track, and that gives you more energy and more power. Unless you worry less and you focus on what's right in your music, not like worrying about sweating small stuff.
John's asked the question, are there any opportunities you missed out on, or do you feel you luckily got them all? Like, do you feel like you've missed
I don't know if I'm. Let me just think whether I'm allowed to say this just now. Yeah. So you know, I'm sure you've heard of Mahalia. Yeah. So I'm just gonna say it, but yeah, basically. So just recently, like I had an email address, her management's email about a year ago, and I didn't really want to go. I didn't want to, at the time, it wasn't right for me to send stuff to it. But recently, I was like, right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to send the stuff over to management. And yeah, at first I thought this track is a no-brainer. They're going to take it, like it's perfect for Mahalia, you know, or the sound I did from her. And I just got through to her manager eventually after going through the line of people. And I was just there waiting. I was like, any day now. I was like, any day now they're going to get, like, I got a bit cocky, I guess. Like, and I was like, any day now they're going to come back like, right, this is going to be a summer hit. Like, it's such a summery tune. And yeah, just like after 4 or 5 days, it was just like, well, sorry, we don't think this is for Mahalia at this time. And I was just like, what? That's an opportunity that I've missed, but there's an email address there that I can always send future stuff to in future.
At least they responded though, you know? Like,
yeah, man, it's fine.
Even if it's a sentence, like, and it's not a generic, like, you know, like just, you know, whatever, but at least, you know, there's a lot to be said for people getting in touch.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. You know, the amount of stuff they must get.
That's it, isn't it? That's it. And like, I think that what a lot of producers do, like, we love and I love the craft more than anything, but I think at some point you've got to realize that you need to take a day of every week just focusing on admin and just like doing the business side of it and networking and like speaking to people and like sending stuff out. And like, it sucks, it's boring. Well, speaking to people is great, but like the side of it where you're just mailing out people, cold calling almost, do you know what I mean? That side of it isn't fun.
Staying sober.
And I've been lucky, don't forget. So like, yeah, mate. Well, I'm drinking non-alcoholic beer right now. I've been sober for like, I don't know, 14 days, something like that. 0.0. I don't know if you can see that. It's off camera. Where's the zero? Anyway, I promise you it's non-alcoholic. But like, basically, that's like the thing is staying sober at gigs, man. Because I used to get wrecked all the time and like just to deal with the nerves and things like that. And like, yeah, that's a bit sobriety's like. I think it's good to have a party now and again, but just don't go overboard. Don't get into like taking downers to sleep and uppers to get you up and things like that. You know what I mean? It's just like it's a bad spiral, and I found myself there a few times. Just try and it's might sound lame, but try and meditate, try and to be healthy, try and eat a healthy diet, and you'll soon find yourself coming good. You won't feel yourself needing to use alcohol and things like that as much.
And if you find yourself in that place, there's also places you can go reach out to, talk to people you trust,
Sure.
Don't hold it in, isn't it? Like, make sure, especially at this
Do
time,
not.
talk to people and reach out if you
Yeah.
feel yourself going that way. You know, especially if you're in the creative industries, because
100%.
if creative minds
If
are a
anyone out
special
there
kind.
ever feels like they're, in a bad way from it, you can always give me a shout as well. Like I say on Insta or any of that stuff, just give me a shout. I mean, sometimes it might take a few days to reply, but like, just if you're ever in a rut, don't feel shy. I can maybe send you some outlets which have helped me, especially the dudes as well. Check out the Man Down program, run by good friends of mine, by Beast and Gemlo. Shout to them who set up the Man Down campaign. They've got like Rag and Bowman on board, like loads of big artists on board
Yeah, I
at the
think
moment.
Captain just did something for it as well.
Okay,
He's
sick.
pushing that out there as well. Yeah, yeah, that
So
looks
yeah,
sick. Yeah,
that's things like that. And like the other thing is like to do with bottling it up. This is a key thing someone said to me, and this wasn't even about depression. This was about uh, like or mental health. It was more about music because they said like, look, we can't tell anyone about this project because think of it as in putting all your energy in a bucket, and every time you tell someone, you're putting a hole in that bucket, and it's leaking out. So the same way, if you hold something in, something negative that's hurting you or causing you pain, the more you hold that in, the more the energy it gains. So the more you let it out, it's like they say, a problem halves, a problem shared. So like that, and it's almost cliche, but it is true. So just reach out to your mates, and you'd be surprised at the reactions you get. I thought when I first, because I suffered with anxiety throughout my life, and I thought the first time I ever told someone they're going to laugh at me, and they said no, I've been through it, and they just took it really seriously, and like have helped me. They're one of my best friends to this day, and then once you break that thing of talking about it, you start to talk to other people, and you start to realize that a lot of us are going through this. Like, so don't be alone.
that's beautiful. That's a soundbite. I'm gonna edit that and put it out there because it's really important for people to hear.
Really is, man.
And
We've lost too many.
I love that actually because a lot of the times I ask you something, you go, "Oh, I can't talk about that," and a part of me wants to go, "Oh, come on, man, stop being so precious." But you just answered it, man. It's like it is like that. It's also about these memes that you see out on Facebook or whatever, going, "Oh, like be careful about the snakes in the grass and all that sort of shit." The people, be careful who you share your good vibes with and all that.
Yeah,
But it's kind of true. You got to be
yeah.
careful who you give your energy to or what you give your energy to.
I
And
think, yeah, and
yeah,
what energy you're putting out as well.
yeah,
That's a key
and yeah,
thing.
yeah.
I think like I think that I mean I bounce between different theories on this, but I think as long as you're putting out good energy, I think that only good things can come. Um, so what you put out is what you get back by and large. And there are times where you have to be careful because there's certain people out there who will cause you harm and cause drama in your life. Where if you get too close to certain people, you just got to know where the line is a little bit with certain people and where to put your energy. There's got to be a line at
A
some
little bit
point,
of
to some
awareness, isn't
extent,
it? Yeah,
if you can see problems coming from it.
yeah.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
guess there's a
I had a few years in my mid
yeah.
20s where I was just like recklessly giving love, and I found I was getting more drama and more problems coming from it because I just give my help people out too much, and then suddenly you got people coming to your house, or do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I hear you.
things
And
like that.
there's also an element of like self. Again, going back to the word perseverance, is about self-perseverance in terms of like if you've not got enough energy to give but carry on to give it, you're only going to do yourself harm and eventually
True.
those around you because you're actually it's a disingenuous to give people the energy you don't actually have for yourself, right?
It's true. I mean, like also, if you're in that situation, you've got to remember that the number one relationship that you have is with yourself. So you've got to work on yourself and focus on yourself, even if it means locking yourself away for a few months, reading books. Just read plenty. There's plenty of people on YouTube that'll help. Plenty of ways you can get information that'll help you. And once you're ready, then you can start giving off energy and love. Do you know what I mean, to people again? And don't feel like it's always great to talk to people, but if you need time to yourself, take it.
Love that.
Do you know what I mean?
This is EMW TV with Dom Piper talking about his most recent EP, Dom Piper, but also just chatting and talking about some really important issues that should always be talked about, and it must be quite difficult if you're in like a kind of a circle where you don't have these opportunities to speak out, or like you do get shut down, because I'm sure people experience that as well. It's like then there is places like you can go to outside of your circles, and please do, because it's not it's not unmanly to talk, and it's not like, you know, it's not weak to speak out about how you feel. Yeah, so I think we can safely say that I'm gonna edit that bit out, man, and that's a lovely analogy to use. So thank you for sharing with that. Yeah, big up. Yeah, so been chatting for a bit, and just to clarify that Don Piper has got quite a few tracks available on his Bandcamp, which I've pasted into the chat. There's a few, including the Caviar. There's also Pumpin', which is that a single off Caviar, or is it something else? So, oh, you've gone. Ah, he's dropped off. Yo. Ah, you're on mute.
Hang on, I got you. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. It just went double me for a second. I just did an interview of myself.
Oh, you just did a Don Piper?
Yeah. I'm going to do that next. I'm going to do the next interview. Well, I haven't got an interview, so the next interview is me interviewing myself.
Yeah, it's going to be like a letter to yourself.
Yeah.
We can really find some, maybe you can find some answers you've been searching for that way. I don't know.
I don't know. I've got too many answers. UPS, man. Okay. Let me tell you, live on the MWT.
You're gonna get cancelled now.
Yeah, cancel culture by UPS.
Yeah.
No, I need to warn people.
Yeah.
This is my calling. This is what I've been waiting for. It's my calling. Yeah. I don't want to override your interview. It's all about Don Piper tonight. But UPS, if you're going to be sending anything out of the country, whether it's commercial value or just to, like, you know, your own personal stuff, you're sending it, you need to fill in 3 commercial invoices. So you need to fill in a commercial invoice, print it off 3 times and attach it to the box. And if you don't do that, UPS won't take it and your money is wasted. Or at least for if you organize a collection. Nowhere on the UPS site does it ever say that. So you go through the whole process, you print the label and all that. And someone's going to say, like, later down the line, if they watch this, you know, you're just an idiot.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Knowledge is power.
Free commercial invoices, print them off. You can download the PDF off the UPS website once you actually search commercial invoices. So, like, you know, it's not clear, but do it. And it's probably going to be the same for other things as well. So yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Shipping's been an issue for labels. I've heard because of Brexit and that as well. COVID. God. Jesus, it's been a year.
It's been a year.
Yeah, it's mad. But I mean, have you got a studio space? Have you been able to?
I've got a studio. Yeah, I've got a studio here. So I've got a 1-bedroom flat here in Swansea. It's beautiful. I've got a balcony with sea views and stuff. And when I moved in here, I literally just took the bed out of the bedroom and just put it in the living room. So there's a bed behind my couch. There's a bed right now. I just turned my living room into a bed sit, and like I have just a baller studio. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm really happy. I love it. Yeah, it's like proper back home, and I've got my studio. I can go in, nice little space here. But yeah, I've got my space to do that. I haven't been playing out obviously, but that's going to change soon. Festivals are back on, so if anyone's going to Nostock this year, I'll be playing there. And boys Halves and Hutch emceeing for me. So yeah, if you can get to Nostock, I know we get a lot of Welsh family up there. So like, yeah, get up there, get up to Herefords.
That's a bit of a game changer. So you're on the circuit, then you're looking for gigs, are you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, always. Yeah, I'm looking to play out more and more. I got decks back recently, so I'm looking to play out more and more. Hopefully, if restrictions with flying and stuff are eased up, there's some stuff abroad and things like that lined up.
You're gonna hit Croatia?
I'd love to play in Croatia. I've never been to Croatia. Never even been. My uncle had a place in what's it called? What's next to Croatia?
Slovenia.
There's Slovenia, and then there's a small one. What's the tiny one? Anyway.
Let me get maps.
Yeah.
Carry on. Tell me the story, and I'll look at maps.
Well, basically, he had a place out there, and I'm a carpenter by trade. I got a carpentry apprenticeship about 5 years ago because I wasn't sure music was going to pan out. So he wanted me to help him build and like do stuff on this place. It was on tip of my tongue then. Tiny little place. They speak Serbio-Croat.
Someone's going to tell me online before I even find it.
Someone's going to tell you, yeah. Let's
Well,
get it. Where's the info? Enlighten
so
us.
we got Croatia, Slovenia, Hungary, Bosnia and Herzegovina,
Wait there.
Serbia, Montenegro.
Montenegro. That's
Boom,
it.
Montenegro. Yeah, man, that's a tiny little place.
Shout out to everyone in Montenegro.
Big up
They're beautiful
Montenegro.
people.
Electronic Music Montenegro is coming next.
Yeah. EMM TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, how do we get onto that? Yeah, I'd love to play Croatia, man. Like, there's what's that? There's the festival in the hills, isn't it, out there?
It just seems to be a hotspot for like that kind of vibe, you know, and even yeah, I mean, obviously, like there's a couple of sick festivals happening this year. There's one called Noise Test. Don't know if you've heard about it. They're actually in Bristol. Well, no, they're in London. Are they in Bristol or in London? Noise Test sounds like Bristol. My brother.
It sounds like a Bristol thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, my brother's on the lineup alongside people like Paradox, Equinox, things like that.
Sick.
It's gonna be sick. But yeah, Noise Test actually is a good one as well. I think what they do is they kind of like do sort of producer only nights. So like where you bring your own beats, or you can get you can get onto the thing, but you can only play your own beats. Like, so,
that's sick.
yeah, so like look it up, man. If you're ever about looking for places in Bristol,
Yeah.
Noise Test is a good one, and they're like, you know, predominantly pushing that drum and bass sound, so like it might fit into your work.
Yeah, well, I'm doing halftime now, so it's like that would be perfect. Yeah, like I've been out of the loop from Bristol for 3 years now. So like, I've been going back and forth, obviously, in there in London, but like, yeah, I'm out of the loop in a lot of the stuff in Bristol at the moment. So yeah, anyone who has any ideas, send me the links.
Tell you what, I'll link you up with that Noise Test lot, because I think it'd be
Link
good
me
for
up.
you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
it definitely sounds up
mean,
my street.
I'll say link you up. I'll say like I'll drop the Facebook page on the thing,
Yeah.
and I'll tell my brother.
I'll hound them, Dory.
I'll tell my brother about you as well, because he's got a connection there. He
Big
probably,
up.
yeah, big up. Yeah, so yeah, Noise Test Croatia. It's gonna be sick. Box Cutters is also playing, which is I don't know. Do you know Box Cutter?
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. Like back
Ridiculous.
in the like on Warp and that, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Fucking A.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I hope that everyone can get back doing what that, you know, because feel for me as a producer who's doing stuff with like sync stuff and advertising stuff, like I've been blessed in the last year or two, like, but for the rappers and MCs and other people who are like just getting their sort of making money from performing shows and stuff, they just had their necks strangled, didn't they? They just had so I hope that things come back to normal ASAP and everyone can get back making money and traveling and doing what they do best. You know what I mean? Like spreading the vibes.
Yeah, 100%. Especially, yeah, I mean, like in terms of like not just those on stage, but those working around the stage as well. You know, sound technicians, light technicians, club owners, promoters. And one of the things actually going back to, and then we'll kind of slowly wrap it up because we're getting to 10 o'clock. But yeah, one of the things that really stood out for me is when you were telling me about how London Zoo came down. The reason why they were in your city is because they were playing in your city, right? So like this whole cross collaboration and this pollination of culture and music happens because people book people in different cities, and you know, like without that we're missing out on so much collaboration, so many opportunities, so many experiences as well, and just good music in the city, which makes the city, in my opinion. Like without music there is no city, I think. Do you know what I mean?
100%. Like it's the lifeblood of it. It's like the culture and everything, and like I think you've hit the nail on the head when you said the pollination thing, because it's like it just keeps the flow going. And like I wouldn't have met London Zoo, and like I wouldn't be friends with Dabs and all these people. My internet connection's unstable, so forgive me if I disappear again. But that wouldn't be happening if someone didn't put them on, and like if Beast didn't luckily know them to have them come and staying with us or partying with us after. So it's just, I think that the amount of acts, and like I've even connected acts together just because we've been partying after a gig, and I've said, look, do you want me to make a track for you and you? Again, I can't name names, not been released yet, but basically things like that, you know, where everyone's there together. That's how the collaborations happen. That's how the dream, you know, teamwork makes for dream work, doesn't it?
100%.
So it all happens like that. Yeah.
I'm just trying to find.
I bet you so many UK acts that you. I bet you so many UK acts that you see collaborating and you're like, oh, finally they've collaborated. I bet you that happened because they were doing a show on the same lineup and they were backstage and just hit it off. Do you know what I mean? And that's that. It's the lifeblood, man, of this culture. People being together, unified. I think that's just what it's all about.
100%. We've missed out on so many power collaborations, and still music's banging. You know, still music's released constantly. It's just like those chance moments, those meetings of two different minds. You know, it leads to new genres. It leads to new things. It leads to new experiences. Like, yeah, like it's gonna be mad. Hopefully,
There's so much stuff.
You know, it's going to be mad when it all comes back. But you know, in the meanwhile, we're still here, and you're obviously still here. You're still making, you're still doing your bits.
Yeah, I am, and I will be for for the foreseeable. Hopefully, for a long time. I just turned 33, so hopefully another 33, and another 33 after that, another 33 after that, another 33 after that. If you see where this is going,
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's good. We're in a good place, and I think like we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think it's just time to readjust and do things a bit differently, but to keep, I think once you've got the passion for something and the addiction to making music and that addiction for seeing the reaction of people and knowing that I guess you're healing people for a couple of minutes, like that feeling is just like second to none. So there'll be plenty more where this came from, and from so many other acts as well. So I'm really excited, to be honest. Yeah.
Love it. Just a reminder, you can check out Don Piper's latest EP. It's called Don Piper. It's also on the label Foreign Currency, which I've just pasted the Bandcamp to, and there's a load of really good artists on there, including Pav himself, Suck Knight, who's like been doing bits for years, Decode, who's also like absolutely ridiculous. Back in the day, I was listening to his drum and bass.
Yeah,
man.
Hieroglyphics, flipping.
Oh, nice.
Confucius out in Oz, like this. Yeah, so many acts. If I started reeling off acts, I'd forget people, and then I'd be tamping. So
yeah, no, I'm just doing it off the Bandcamp. So you know, like I've got an excuse, and I'm only picking out the ones that I recognize straight away. But there's a load. Yeah. So have a little look at the artist page. I'm gonna have a little listen through as well.
Yeah, check them out, man. Sick artist, sick label, all about good vibes, good energy, and like, yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing.
You know, it's going to be good when Pav's involved, and
yeah, that level of experience and knowledge, and just being someone who wants to give people opportunities as well. Like, so yeah, anyone out there listening who wants to try and get this stuff out there, look up Foreign Currency, and they've got an email for new beats and things like that. So just send them some stuff as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, just try your luck, because it's a new label looking for new artists, and you know, if you think you got what it takes, and get involved. Get on board.
Work rate, right?
Yeah, work rate.
Big up, man. Sure. Fully respect that. So thank you so much for taking the time today. Going to be closing up now. This will be available to watch again at your leisure. It's EMW TV with Don Piper. There's nothing much else going on EMW TV for a bit, but I will be playing a couple of games of chess in the future with a couple of artists when I get that sorted. So yeah, just playing chess and talking music at the same time, and it's really doing my head and trying to do the two at the same time. I just got absolutely rinsed last night.
Well, yeah, I mean, hopefully I'll give you some good luck next time I come on. I'll definitely come back and do another one.
I'd love that. Yeah, I'd like to do more beat clinics as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like just keep an eye on Don Piper's release schedule. Make sure you cop that. It's representing Wales, but also on a larger scale, international. You know, and like, you know, if you're at festivals when they come around, make sure to get to that gig as well. Yeah, man. Big up.
Come follow me on it's Don Piper Beats on Insta, Twitter Don_Piper13. Facebook's just Don Piper. You'll find my page or whatever. Stay up to date. Follow Foreign Currency. Follow Potent Funk. Follow High Focus. Follow Yogo Cop. All the gang. You know what I mean?
I have to shout out actually True Mendes's album on High Focus. It's absolutely sick.
Yeah.
That's got beats by Winchester as well, who's also, of course, a Wales Birmingham legend. He's just a legend. Let's not Winchester.
Well, this is it. I think where you're from sometimes doesn't it doesn't matter, man. Like we're all from the same place, aren't we? So
Yeah, from the
yeah.
heart.
Mm,
Boom.
true, true.
Big up, man. Okay, sick. This has been EMW TV. Peace.
Mad
Cheers.
love.
Bye.